Now that President Trump has signed an entire flurry of executive orders, let's talk about the dust has settled a little bit. Let's talk about how that's going to affect your Social Security benefits now and in the future. So, we're going to go down to the list to talk about some of the executive orders and some of the proposals to save Social Security, the hiring freeze, see what Elon Musk has to do with any of this. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and now I'm helping you get all the benefits you are eligible for. This is also a live Q&A, so if you got any questions, looks like I already got a bunch of questions there. I'll answer as many as I can once we get through today's essentially breaking news on all things executive orders. All right. So one thing I want to throw out there, that politicians love to divide Americans by Democrat and Republican and liberal and conservative and all that. But when it comes to Social Security, we are all on the same team. Basically, every study out there that shows it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent, a vast majority of Americans want Social Security to be strengthened, it to be kept here, and to make sure there are no cuts in the future. As of right now, according to the Social Security trustees, the Congressional Budget Office, all the rest of it, there are going to be cuts in the future, very, very close, 2033 or 2034, about 21%. If some of the things happen over the next few years, then it's going to be even more sooner. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we reach out to our politicians and say, hey, all of us, doesn't matter what color of hat you wear, we support Social Security and we want you to take care of Social Security. So if you don't support President Trump on anything else, let's support him in terms of protecting Social Security. And if he does the right thing, we'll say, great, you did the right thing. And if he doesn't, then we will call him out on it. But again, there's wide support. But one thing that he did do well is he said, okay, I'm not going to cut Social Security and I'm not going to raise the retirement age by 1 year. Perfect. Okay. I and a lot of people who are regular to my channel don't, suggest protecting Social Security going forward by raising the retirement age. They already did that once. Now it's 67 years old for the full retirement age, and we definitely can't take a cut in benefits. There's 40 to 50% of Americans out there that just survive on Social Security alone, and they can't take a 10, 20, 30% cut. So it's important that we do something. All the executive orders, there wasn't, I was kind of dismayed. There was a bunch of things about renaming the Gulf of Mexico and some other stuff, but Social Security, even though it's supported by so many people, there wasn't really a lot of meat in there. There's a little bit in there, but not a lot of meat in there about saving Social Security going forward. And we have to remember that the lack of a plan is a plan. So you can have a plan for Social Security. Okay, we're going to do this, that, and the other on Social Security. That's a plan. But if there is no plan, that is a plan not to do anything. And as of it stands right now, as I just put up that graphic, then we're going to get cuts in a few years if we don't do something. So hopefully the plan is not to do something, is not to do something. So one of the arguments out there is drill, baby, drill, and grow the economy and all the rest of it. But the economy has grown since the 1980s, a phenomenal growth in the economy. The problem is that doesn't really help Social Security a lot, because regular viewers of my channel know that mm, uh, the money that extra growth in the economy goes to are really the people that don't pay FICA Social Security. A lot of people don't recognize that if you make under $176,100 for this year, you pay FICA tax on every dollar you make. If you make over that, you no longer pay FICA tax on any amount over that. You pay it up to $176,100. But after if you make $1 million, the other $800,000 or so, you don't pay FICA tax like the rest of us. So if you're making 50, 60, 70, 80, $150,000, you're paying FICA tax on FICA Social Security part of the tax on every single dollar you make. If you make $5 million, you're paying a very, very, very small percentage. So one of the ideas is to raise that cap. And unfortunately, that was not part of the executive orders. And I looked through all the 119th Congress, and nobody is really proposing that now. So we definitely need to reach out to our politicians. If you agree with a lot of my viewers that that is the solution, then we need to definitely do something. One of the things that was in the was definitely in the executive orders was a hiring freeze for federal workers. They want to shrink the federal workforce, and I'm sure there's a lot of redundancies and all the rest of it. But in terms of Social Security is now at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. So if I'm sure everybody out there that tried to reach Social Security, you got a 3 hour wait, 4 hour wait, 5 hour wait. If you're filing for disability, it takes months and months and months extra. If you're filing retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, and all the rest of it, you just can't get in. You can't get help. That's one of the reasons I'm doing these videos in my semi-retirement. I've got over 1,000 videos on all things Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, independently entitled divorce benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, all the rest of it. Make sure you join and all that kind of good stuff. But Social Security, unfortunately, is not there for you. And I would argue that that is a conscious decision by politicians to choke Social Security so they can drown it in the bathtub by not providing you customer service, even though that you paid for that customer service when you paid your FICA taxes all those decades. You paid for help. You paid for the help that the Social Security employees are supposed to give you. But the problem is there's just not enough of them because Congress refuses to support Social Security because they don't want to support Social Security because they don't want it to stick around. And I'm talking both parties. One party vocally says we don't want it, and the other party basically says, yeah, we want it, but they don't do anything and they're too incompetent to fix it or whatever the case may be. And I blame the current president. I blame Biden. I blame Trump again because he was president. I blame Obama and the Clintons and the Bushes and all the politicians since the 1980s that they're not coming together and do anything about it. So we need to do something about it. Right. All right. So what else do we got here? So in terms of the hiring freeze. Okay, I think in the executive order they said there might be an exception for Social Security in the VA, but we'll see what's going on with that. One of the things they're definitely the immediate action is they're going to end telework. They're going to have Social Security employees come back into the office. Okay, fine, no problem. But I guarantee you, again, running the third busiest Social Security office in the country, there's a lot of Social Security employees. Well, there's not many, but the remaining Social Security employees, a lot of those um, are close to retirement, and they're already stressed out. There's too much work. They're getting harassed by people because they're rightly so, because people are having to wait for 3 hours and they're getting the wrong decision and not getting the right. So the employees are probably pretty much strapped out, and those employees that were close to retirement but they're just going to stick around for a few years, now that the telework is ended, they're just going to go ahead and retire. So ending telework, fine. If you want to end telework, no problem, but don't think it's going to improve customer service. It's going to make customer service a lot worse going forward because Social Security is going to have a lot less employees. And I've talked about telework and why that's kind of a misdirection by politicians a couple of days ago. So customer service is going to get worse. And it's not only having to wait on the phone for 3 hours. The problem is people are filing for the wrong claims because the Social Security says go ahead and do it online, do it yourself. DIY, do it yourself. And people just do it themselves. And if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? If you hear about Social Security, all you think about is retirement, you file for retirement. But maybe you should have filed for disability at the same time. Maybe you should file for survivor benefits instead of retirement benefits. Maybe you should have filed for spouse benefits on top of your retirement benefits, on top of your disability, or you should have filed for independently entitled divorce spouse benefits or Medicare, or maybe you should have filed for Medicaid and Medicare or SSI. So there's a lot of permutations, and that's why I do this live Q&A and all these videos here. So people are losing money. It's not just about inconvenience. People are actually losing money in benefits, and Social Security, the federal government, is not forgiving. If you do the wrong thing at the wrong time, you just might lose benefits forever. Elon Musk, he has said he's going to knock part of Doge. He's going to knock $2 trillion out of the federal budget. You can't do that without touching Social Security and Medicare. It's just impossible to do it unless you call it going to go into the Department of Defense, the military, which that is not going to happen. So the only other thing in there is Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, disability, and all the rest of it. He's since kind of pulled it back and he says, okay, it's not going to be $2 trillion. It's maybe $1 trillion. Yes. Can Social Security be more efficient? Absolutely, 100%. Is there fraud, waste, and abuse in Social Security? Absolutely, 100% with every organization. I'm sure there's fraud, waste, and abuse in Tesla and X and all the rest of them. But is that going to save Social Security and prevent cuts in the future? No, there's just not enough in there to do that. You could cut everybody off, half of the people off of disability, and it still wouldn't make that big of a difference. It would make a difference, but not maybe add another year to the solvency, but that's probably pretty much it. One of the things that President Trump talked about during his election was no taxes on Social Security. So a lot of people are asking me, do I have to pay taxes on Social Security this time? Well, yes. Nothing has happened until it happened. So if you decide not to pay taxes on your Social Security benefits, then the IRS is going to come a knocking. So, you know, game as usual. Just continue paying your taxes until the decision comes down. The About half of the people don't even pay taxes on Social Security. If all you're receiving is Social Security benefits, you're probably not going to pay taxes on Social Security. Obviously, you're going to reach out to your tax person and talk about that. There is a tool that some people don't even have to file for taxes, but go onto the IRS website and you type in, "Do I need to file for taxes?" And it'll ask you 5 or 6 or 7 questions, and you might not even need to file for IRS because if you're making so low. But make sure you check out their tool. So I mentioned that a while ago, and someone came on there and says, "Well, even if a lot of people don't. Low income workers actually don't have to file a tax return, but it's still suggested to protect yourself so nobody does it in your place or whatever the case may be." So reach out to your tax person on that. But just continue with taxes as normal, and if there's anything updates on these executive orders, any type of challenges, anything that those campaign promises that actually come through in terms of Social Security or Medicare, I will keep you up to date on all of this to make sure you subscribe. Okay, let's get into the questions of the day. And I already got a Crystal asks, what is the $5,100 check every person in SSI and SSDI stimulus that Trump signed and are to be released this coming Monday? That sounds like a 100% internet myth. Just someone made some type of social media channel and clickbait. You know how you tell whether you're getting a stimulus? There is a stimulus coming in about $1,000 or $1,400 for people that didn't get it in 2021. There's IRS looked at their records and say, oh, we didn't give it out to this person, and this person, but you don't have to worry about that. They're taking care of that. Well, theoretically taking care of that. But going forward, I'm going to teach you a trick on how to determine whether a stimulus is clickbait or it actually exists. This is how you do it. Once you see this image on the 6 o'clock news with Walter Cronkite, a president standing in front of a podium in front of American flags, patting themselves on the back. I am so awesome. I'm going to give you $1,000 or $5,100 or $2,000. I am such an awesome person. Aren't I such an awesome person? Until you see that, because if they're going to give you a stimulus, they're going to go out there and brag about it, ad nauseum. So until you see that, it's all clickbait. It's all BS. It's all, internet myths. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anything substantial will have to come from Congress. Maybe this is their announced intent, but I wouldn't take any of it to the bank. Yes, the big stuff, the ending of taxes on Social Security and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it has to go through Congress and all the rest of it. The telework thing is definitely Social Security is part of the executive branch. They work for the president. So if he ends telework at 30 days, then again, that's it's going to diminish customer service going forward. So there are some things that he can do unilaterally without Congress. But I'm also watching Congress as well. There are some interesting things coming up in Congress to try to dismantle or Social Security. So I'm going to keep you all up to date on that as well. Let's see. I hope he sees we cannot live on just disability and SSI. There needs to be a raise across the board. We need help, please. Come on, Elon, help us poor folks out. In terms of disability and SSI, if we look at the previous Trump administration, on all of his presidential budget proposals, there were attempts to cut SSI and make disability more difficult to keep and receive. So there's that. Whether he's going to continue on that in the future, that's another thing that I'm going to keep an eye on for you. What about Social Security recipients, medicine, struggling medicines, food, rent, insurance, $1,800 a month? I've done a series of videos on living on Social Security alone. Again, working for Social Security for a few decades. Before that, I worked for the Department of Social Services doing Medicaid food stamps. I did a few videos. You look in my on my YouTube channel, just type in, or if you're watching on any other platform, go to my YouTube channel or go to YouTube and just type in Dr. Ed Weir, and the channel will pop up and you'll see videos that'll say living on Social Security alone. And I go through a list of about 50 different programs that might help you out in terms of, if you're low income and having a hard time. In terms of Medicare, there's there is a executive order about ending a $2 generic prescription drug program that Biden passed, but it was a proposal that never really started under Biden, so it just kind of stopped that. So that's not an issue yet. But in terms of Medicare, now is the Medicare season. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, which the new Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Oz, is a big supporter of Medicare Advantage for all. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. But now is the open enrollment period. If you do have a Medicare Advantage and you chose the wrong one, or you want to switch, or whatever the case may be, you can reach out to my partners at Chapter, and they can see if there's a better plan for you. And this is also the time to switch to the one I recommend, a Medicare supplement plan. I always recommend Medicare supplement plan if you can get it, if it's right for you. That way you don't have to go through these prior authorizations and worry about the diminishing, networks of doctors and hospitals and all that. But unfortunately, 51% of people choose a Medicare Advantage plan, predominantly because there's zero premium and it's enticing and when you're not sick. And unfortunately, a lot of, not very ethical Medicare insurance agents out there don't telling you your options. So that's why I chose to partner with Chapter, because they help you across the board. So always check out a Medicare supplement plan N or plan G. The F1 has pretty much been phased out. But if a Medicare supplement's not for you, then Medicare Advantage. You just need more. You just have to have more work when you do a Medicare Advantage. Definitely don't stay with Medicare alone. Just don't do Medicare Part A and Part B alone, because there's too many gaps there. Unless you got a few $1,000,000 sitting around to cover all those gaps. So you definitely need something: Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage, Part D prescription drug plan. But definitely get something. But check out supplements first. Since the first is on a Saturday, will I get SSI and disability on the 31st? Yeah, that's another. It really depends on what your payment cycle is. But if a date is on a weekend, usually get like a check before, on a Friday or something like that. And that's another thing social media people out there like to do, is they like to make those YouTube, channels and videos about, oh, you're getting 2 checks this month. Oh my gosh, did you hear you're getting 2 checks this month? Yeah, that's because the first fell on a Sunday or a Saturday. And so you're not getting 13 checks a year, and you're not getting an extra check. You're just getting next month's check a day or two early. Yeah, there's so much clickbait out there. So I try to anyway, but I have to get through okay, yes, thank you very much. All right, already answered that one. If this is a one-man operation, so I'm just jumping back and forth here, so I don't have a big, as you can see, my $10 Amazon blue screen back here. Yes, so it's just me, so I jump around a little bit. If currently on SSDI, but turning 65 in October, can I switch to a regular Social Security at 65? Not comfortable with all the changes happening. How do we go about changing over to regular Social Security? Yes, you can, but your benefits are going to be reduced, because right now you're receiving SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and that benefit is basically what you would have received at your full retirement age. If you decide to stop receiving disability benefits, which you can withdraw your claim and then file for retirement benefits. Your benefits are going to be reduced for the rest of your life. So that is your choice. But since you're turning 65, here's one thing I always recommend people on Social Security disability. When they turn 65, in most states, all you could have gotten was a Medicare Advantage plan because in most states, they don't offer Medicare supplements to people under 65. So you probably were stuck getting a Medicare Advantage, but now you're 65 and you don't have that limitation anymore. Again, there's a few states that don't, but anyway, most states you can't get it, but now you can, and you can't be charged extra. They can't ask you health questions or anything like that. You just get whatever plan is good for you. So check it out. Definitely check it out because this might be your only time to get a Medicare supplement. Again, reach out to my team there. I'm on SSDI and my wife just received her Medicare card. When can she file on my Social Security? If you're on SSDI and she is at least 62 years old, then she can file on your Social Security benefits. If your benefit amount is twice her benefit amount, yeah, she can do it at 62. And then now she's got her Medicare card. Make sure she gets something to cover all those gaps. Very thankful for this man. I appreciate it. I retired at 62, December 2023, under WEP and probably GPO for my SSDI wife. She worked enough for Social Security, and I might qualify for her spousal benefits, and she might not and she might qualify for mine. Now, yeah, with the Social Security Fairness Act, I'm sure everybody, my regular viewers, know that I wasn't a big supporter of that because it's unfair to the other 97%. But it's the law now, so being an old ex-Marine, I guess I have to go by it. So, yeah, and I did a video on it about a week ago on. Some information a lot of people aren't talking about and how to protect yourself. So watch that video. It's the thumbnail is critical updates deadline January 31st. So watch that video to make sure you protect yourself. Wow, did you listen to the testimony with the Senate with O'Malley and the Social Security questioning? It was good. Yes, I did 2 videos based on that. Is that the one about the telework thing? Yeah, I did one on Marjorie Taylor Greene and one on Clay Higgins, who were just, using it as a political stunt and not really. Yeah, so if that's the one you're talking about, but definitely appreciate Dr. Ed putting in the time to educate and inform us everything. You're welcome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, let's see, jump around a little bit. Good day, Ed. Can you explain if you qualify for QMB, SLMB, or QI program, are you allowed to have a supplement plan as well? No. So let me leave that up there. QMB is qualified Medicare beneficiary. This is different levels of Medicaid. So you've got Medicare, which you sign up for at the Social Security Administration, Part A and Part B. Medicaid is the state welfare-based health insurance plan for people with low income, low resources. You can have both Medicare and Medicaid. So particularly if you or someone please share all the information you get on here. Please share with everybody around you. If you have or get Medicare, Part B, that's $185 a month for Part B. And if you know anybody that's having a hard time paying that, then you say, hey, have you gone down the state and applied for Medicaid? And if you're approved for Medicaid, there's a program, it's called Medicare Savings Program. They just might be able to pay for your Part B. So that puts $185 in that person's pocket. And it really depends on what level they are. QMB is the highest, QMB plus in some states, and then there's a SLMB and qualified individual and everything. But if you get the higher levels, they pay for your Part B, and there's a lot of extra benefits. And in that case, you can't get a Medicare supplement. Why? Well, because a Medicare supplement, it has the monthly premium. And so you're basically paying a health insurance company for a Medicare supplement. And that company is receiving your premium on a monthly basis, and they don't have to do anything because all your health cover is covered, all your health care is covered by Medicare and Medicaid. So yeah, so that's why you can't get a Medicare supplement because they're just going to make premium money and not do anything for it. But you can get a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan, and if you have Medicare and Medicaid, you're dual eligible, and those are definitely the people I recommend to check out a Medicare Advantage plan. They are definitely for you in that case. A Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. Those are the ones you see advertised all the time with all the the grocery cards and $100 and $300 and the transportation and the free ice cream and unicorns and all that stuff. Yeah, the advertising is kind of scammy, but those cards do exist. They do exist. It depends on your particular area of the country of what is actually available. So you can reach out to Chapter. They work the entire country and they can tell you if you're eligible for one of those dual eligible plans and if there's any money there for you to make your life easier. A long ward. I'm collecting Social Security widows benefits before 65. Am I automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A and B? Yes, you are. When about 100 days before you turn 65, Medicare will send you your package in the mail, but be careful. Everybody contacts you when you turn 65 and they harass you and send you all kinds of junk. A lot of people, get just start throwing stuff away when they get it in the mail and they accidentally throw away the actual package from Medicare. So be careful. Yes, you automatically get it anytime you are currently receiving benefits, whether it's retirement benefits or survivor benefits or spouse benefits or disability benefits, disability after 24 months, but all the other ones, retirement, spouse, survivor, you get, if you're currently receiving benefits, you're automatically enrolled for Part A and Part B when you turn 65. If you're not receiving benefits, then when you turn 65, then you have to figure out whether you're going to enroll in Part A and Part B. And is it mandatory? Yes, no. If you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's current work, and your employer has 20 or more employees, then you do not need to get Part A or B or anything like that. Some people go ahead and get Part A since it's zero premium anyway. But then again, you have to find all the rest of it. So O'Malley pledged to improve customer service and reduce errors at the Social Security Administration, and he failed. Yeah, he just it's. I did a comparison. It's like if these politicians they own a Walmart and they hire a manager and they say, "Oh, go out there and improve sales, improve customer service. Here's your two employees." So yeah, he's just a manager. It's the Congress that provides the resources to get the job done. But if he doesn't have the resources to get the job done, yeah. So my dad is 63 and he's on Social Security disability. He was married to his first wife for 14 years. He is single and he's drawing Social Security on his own record. Can he draw divorce spouse benefits? If she, then it stops. Yes, married 14 years, so that's good. So you have to be married to the person for at least 10 years, so that's good. He's single. That's good. So the only other thing is that the his first wife is at least 62 years old. Doesn't have to be receiving benefits, just has to be at least 62 years old, and that his benefit, his full benefit amount, is less than half of her full benefit amount. And then he'll get the difference between those calculations. And if all of those apply, then absolutely he can get those benefits. Let's see what other. What kind of income considered for IRMAA as Social Security benefits, pension and rollover conversion and distributions? Yes. So IRMAA income related monthly adjustment amount. It's an extra premium people pay for Part B and Part D, the prescription drug plan, high wage earners. If you make over 212,000 2 years ago, then you're going to pay an extra premium. So it includes a lot of things. It just includes your income, capital gains. Doesn't include Roth, but any other type of distributions. But yeah, reach out to whatever you do. I think it's line 7 and 11 of your tax returns. Yeah, so whatever those add up to, that's what you're going to get charged. You don't think they're going to correct this, knowing that they know this? Yeah, in terms of saving Social Security, yeah, I'm going to do a video here pretty soon. It's that how the fact that politicians think we're stupid in terms of Social Security. I'll do that within the next week, so please stay tuned with that. It should be interesting. I am 13 years full time, no SSDI retirement. Okay. Let's see. My mom was a green card holder, never worked in the U.S. California. Okay, I answered your question yesterday. So let's see. Hello, we live outside the country. We canceled Part B because we are residents here. Why would Part B be penalized if Part A is not available? That is, if we return to the U.S. Why is Part B penalized if Part A is? Yeah. If you ever decide to come back to the United States and you did not sign up for Part B when you were supposed to, and you don't have any other type of credible coverage, then yes, you are going to be charged a penalty if you decide to sign up for Part B at a later time. So if you come back to the United States at 70 years old, then you're going to pay a 50% penalty for the rest of your life. If you didn't have it for at 60 from 65 to 70, then that's a 10% penalty for every 12 months. That's for the Part B, as in boy. And then there's a penalty for Part D, the prescription drug plan. So that is just the way the law is written, unfortunately. So Karen, I am planning to retire at age 65, but I'm not eligible for full Social Security until 67. If I wait until 67 to take my Social Security, will retiring at 65 affect my Social Security? Yes, you'll be reduced by 2 years. So anytime you take money from Social Security, retirement benefits, spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, survivor benefits, if you take it early, those benefits are reduced for the rest of your life if you continue to take those benefits. There's ways to suspend those benefits and not be reduced. But why is the Social Security Adult Disabled Child Survivor Benefits application process not being worked on at the Social Security office when they have had the DDS office decision since October and given me the runaround? Yeah, now it's time to reach out to your politician. And why, you ask? There's the answer right there. And this is a conscious decision by politicians to not help you get access to your benefits that you earned and your child needs. So you will hate Social Security, and you'll lack confidence in Social Security and destroy everything. And then the politicians will come in later on this year, next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and say, hey, we got a solution. We're going to give it over to Wall Street. And you'll say, fine, anybody can do better than Social Security because they suck. And politicians are like, hey, our plan is work, suckers. So there's that. So contact your politician, go onto their website, your senator or your congressperson, your House representative, go onto the website, and all of them have a little button there that says, I need help with a federal agency. And you click on that and you tell them, cut and paste that and says, hey, my son, my child needs those benefits. What's going on? So got to take the cap off the people that pay $100 million a year, and they should continue to pay FICA tax. Yes. And they say, well, it's not fair because they'll get less benefits. Well, that's how the calculations have worked since 1935. If you're a low income worker throughout your life, you get a higher percentage of a return of what you paid into Social Security. If you're higher, you get a lower percentage of what you paid into Social Security. That's been the same since 1935. And that's one of the reasons why the Social Security Fairness Act is not fair, because anyway, now they're getting an extra percent that the other 97% aren't. Okay. Once we get rid of all those illegal aliens, get rid of the ridiculous federal spending on useless things, then they can fund Social Security as well as other American interests. Well, in terms of just speaking about Social Security, the estimates are that people that are not supposed to be working in this country donate, I say donate to Social Security $37 billion every year. So if all those people are thrown out, then we're going to have another $37 billion every year of short in terms of Social Security. I'm not talking about all the other stuff. I'm just talking about Social Security. I'm a one-trick pony. I always talk about Social Security and Medicare. I just reached full retirement age this month. My wife is 57. How do survivor benefits work when I pass? Then if she is her full retirement age, then she will get 100% of your full benefit amount. If she's 60 years old at that time, then she'll get a reduced amount, about 71.5% of your full benefit amount. And she doesn't have to file. So if she's 62 years old and you pass away when she's 62 years old, she can file for benefits on her own record, or she can not file for benefits on her own record and file for survivor benefits while she waits for her benefit to increase. Because if she just receives survivor benefits and doesn't touch her own, hers increases every single month she waits until she hits 70 years old. So that's one of the strategies. A lot of people, they do the wrong thing. And I get people all the time that come in here and says, Ed, I didn't know I could have done this and delayed this. And yes, and they've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you can file for survivor benefit. It depends what the numbers are. If you need the extra money, then you get the extra money and whatever. But if you can file for survivor benefits and then don't touch your own, let that increase until 70, and then 69, 70, whatever, you jump over onto your own and get those higher benefits. So, friends in Crosby, thank you so much for this informative channel. You're welcome. I receive SSI blindness and SSDI. If I try working and stay under SGA but decide to stop, what documentation is needed for SSA to know I stop working? Just stop sending in doing the work reports. So, you can do those work reports theoretically online. I think the online system actually works. There used to be a phone system that you could put in your work reports, which was terrible. Nobody ever used it. I tried it myself a few times as a test, and I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, if you're working, and make sure you stay under the trial work period and the substantial gainful activity and everything, and just report your earnings and document that you did report your earnings somehow. Go online, take a screenshot or fax it in with a confirmation receipt. And then when you stop working, then you no longer send it in anymore. So, and then Social Security will know by that. The hiring freeze, return to office order, and changing federal employees to political appointees who can be fired for capricious reasons will only make the Social Security wait times on the phone much worse. Yes, 100%. And again, it's not only about inconvenience. Oh, I'll just go online. I don't care. But yeah, that might be fine for you because I'm not talking to you. Take and took. You're awesome. You're one of my best regulars here. I get comments all the time. Oh, it's easy. I just filed online. Okay, well, that's great. You didn't have scrambled earnings. You didn't file. You filed. Hopefully, you filed for the right benefit amount. You don't know what you don't know, and so Social Security employees really need to be there and be trained to help you out. But unfortunately, yeah. And I've talked about this before, but in terms of bad employees of Social Security, why are they still there? Because they can't be replaced. So if you got an employee that's 60% okay, and the other 40%, not so much, the district manager has to look at, the cost benefit analysis. Okay, they're producing 60% of work. And if I fire this person, I'd really like to fire this person, but I can't get a replacement. So 60% is better than zero. So I'll just keep them. So that's an unfortunate thing. If they could rehire the person, a lot of those bad employees, those rude employees, would be fired, and then that would set example for the other moderately rude employees. But be nice to Social Security employees. They're stressed out. But if you get a bad employee, please report them. Please report them. It helps to get them, fired. If a lot of those kind of so I fired many federal employees. All right, FBU said I wait my 60 years old, I get benefits, and she said before I apply, I need to live in the U.S. for 5 years. Is that true? So if FBU is Federal Benefits Unit. It really depends on what country you're talking about. So you're overseas, and you were married to someone that passed away. That's why you're looking at 60 a year. I'm reading in between the lines. That's the benefit of doing this a few million times. So you're overseas and you're filing for survivor benefits, and you were married to an American citizen or green card holder or whatever that passed away. But in your particular country, that's the agreement with the United States has with your particular country. Some they don't, but if that's what your federal benefit unit in your country said, then yes, that is it. Do the people that don't pay into Social Security still get Social Security when they retire? No, no. If you don't pay into it, then you don't get it. It's an insured type of thing, just like get a car accident. If you don't pay insurance for this particular company, they're not going to fix your car. So, in terms of retirement, but if you are the spouse and you are a stay-at-home, mother or father or whatever, and your spouse paid into it, and then you can get spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits and all the rest of it, or disabled widows benefits or surviving spouse benefits, yes. But in terms of regular retirement, no. Let's see. Stop. He's only been in office 5 days. There are many changes coming that he hasn't shared yet. Trump promised Social Security will stay solvent. Give him a chance. All right, so he's got to do something. I haven't seen a plan yet to make it solvent to protect because what's going to happen is the trust fund, it's being used. Last year, $70 billion was taken out of the trust fund. It's a savings account that the baby boomers put away for their retirement, and they're using it. Hey, it's their money. So they took out $70 billion last year, probably $100 billion. Well, actually, $70 billion in 2023. We don't know the numbers for 2024 yet. Probably about more than that, $100 billion taken out of the trust fund. But that savings account is going to disappear in 2033 or 2034. So someone needs to come up with a solution to make sure we don't get cuts in the future. And he hasn't. If you've seen something that he said that will prevent that, then please, yeah, send me an email. Please, please. But I haven't seen anything that's gonna, he just said he's not gonna cut it during his term, but it's not gonna happen during his term. It's the next one. So all those who voted for Trump need to reach out to him and tell him about your Social Security issues. Yes, everybody. He is now the president of the United States, whether you love him or hate him, whatever the case may be. And again, this is the one politicians love to divide us. That's how they become politicians, is they love to divide and conquer. Let's go back to Roman era. But yes, everybody on here, whether I don't care what political part of the political spectrum are, I guarantee. Well, okay. 99% chance, y'all, the reason you're even here is because you want Social Security to be around. You're receiving Social Security. You don't want your check. So we can all be united that we want Trump to be successful in saving Social Security. I think we are all 100%. We want him to save Social Security. Yes. So there it is. I do not qualify for anything other than Social Security because I have over $3,000 in my bank account. So yeah, the imaginators, what that means, what he's talking about there is he or she is you have over $3,000 in your bank account, so you don't qualify for SSI. That's the Supplemental Security Income, the welfare-based program that Social Security also administers. If you receive SSI, SSI is for people on disability or aged 65 and older. And there are that I'm tracking some congressional actions that are going to go after SSI. So I'm going to keep an eye on those. Comment: what does he care whether we can survive in benefits or not? He's rich, only cares about himself and all the other richy riches. Yeah, but as you know, he has an ego. We all have egos, and nice little feather in his cap. He's the one that saved Social Security and saved retirees from getting cuts in the future. That's so I guess it's got to use people's ego against them, right? So hey, it works for me. Press like, and it's like I'm all happy. If you sell a coin or memorabilia, do you have to report no matter the amount you get? So in terms of, it sounds like this is you're receiving early retirement or something like that. No, unless this is your job, and your job is to sell coins and memorabilia, and this is your business, and that's net income from business. But if you're receiving early Social Security retirement or disability or something like that, and you just sell something online, yeah, no, it doesn't affect it's not considered income. So. Vince, thank you. You have saved me much concern and helped me find needed info. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's another point. It's like, we have found hundreds of millions of dollars for people. But I think more than that, we've given people peace of mind, because they're always, am I really getting the correct amount? Or should I have filed for this or that, or whatever the case may be? And a lot of people, listen to the videos and say, oh, good, I did everything right. Perfect. Awesome. So. Cheryl, they want to take $2 trillion from Social Security. They still haven't paid back the $2 trillion that Bush borrowed. Robbing retirement accounts seems to be the best way to get free cash. Okay, so yeah, this is an internet myth. The Social Security Trust Fund is still there. It's still, in treasury bonds, the safest investment in the world. Countries throughout the world invest in United States Treasury bonds because it's the safest thing in the world. Your 401k and IRA and all that is in treasury bonds. So the $2.7 trillion is still there. And this is another myth that politicians like to perpetuate because they want to, destroy confidence in the system. But it's always interesting that the people on Wall Street, they really want that money. And if it's not there, why would they want the money so bad? And there's a politician a senator from Louisiana who's going to come up with a plan. He's already announced it, that he's going to come up with a plan to give $1.5 trillion of your Social Security savings to Wall Street so they can invest in real estate and whatever like that. So, but if it doesn't exist, if it's all monopoly money, it's all fake money, what is he giving away? They know it's real money, but they just want you to believe that it's not real money. So you'll lose confidence in the system. And so they have succeeded, but we're smarter than them. Let's see, Mary. Hey, Mary. Some states, they do not have to have their Social Security taxed. Yes, they should give Social Security recipients should be tax free. I agree with you. That is one thing I'm 100% agree with President Trump, that Social Security benefits should not be taxed. They should have never been taxed. That was a thing that was started under Reagan and Tip O'Neill and the Greenspan Commission in the 1980s. In order to shore up Social Security for the baby boomers in the future, they decided to tax Social Security. But the problem with that is number one, it's not going to help the people that you think is going to help. 40 or 50% of people don't even pay taxes on Social Security because they just live on Social Security. So that's not going to help the lower income people. It's not going to help them one penny. It's only going to help the higher earnings people and middle anyway. But the taxes that are collected from Social Security benefits go back into the Social Security Trust Fund. So if Social Security taxes are ended, then the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted sooner, and you're going to get cuts to your Social Security earlier, unless someone figures out a way to cover that. I think is about a $60 billion hole there. So Sandy, can you sit down with President Trump like many other people have done to inform him of all these things and help him to better understand so he can be more informed to help with us? Yes, I'd be more than happy to jump on a plane anytime and go anywhere and testify in Congress and talk to this person or that person. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Anytime. Take away Congress's retirement benefits and see if they change their minds. Yeah, they won't. They, $3,000-$4,000 a month. Yeah, that's not going to affect them at all. Did Biden sign a bill that your medical bills would not be on your credit report? Yes. Not sure where it is, whether it actually, I haven't followed that one too much, but that it wouldn't be part of bankruptcy or so. But I'll have to check that one out. That's kind of outside of my wheelhouse on that one. Credit report type stuff. Peter, I am 60 years old and apply for SSDI. I also receive a pension from the private sector. If I get approved from SSDI, would it reduce the amount I have in pension? If you get the pension from a private sector, it does not affect your Social Security disability insurance at all. No, not at all. If you're talking SSI, the welfare-based program, then yes, but SSDI, no. Unless, with Social Security, there's always exceptions. Unless that pension, which it doesn't sound like, is a workers' comp type thing or public disability benefits. But if it's a private thing, no, it doesn't affect your Social Security disability at all. I was able to post your YouTube links to Social Security groups on True Social. Awesome. Thank you, Harry. You are too awesome. Yeah, I do. This is going out to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and X and TikTok. And so I'm trying to get the word out there. So any of y'all can help, please. Can I stay with my widow payment, or do I have to switch if I retire? I'm 70, but I'm only been working for 16 years. He worked from age 17 to 66 when he died. Okay. So probably you're going to stay on your surviving spouse benefits. It depends what the numbers are, but if you only work 16 years or so, then your benefit amount, if you switch over onto your own, it's probably going to be less. So it sounds like you're right, Lady Bird, that you're getting the maximum amount as a widow, but I'm not exactly sure how much he worked during those decades. But just to double check, call Social Security. Unfortunately, be on hold for hours and hours and hours because they don't have the staff to pick up the phones. And just ask him. Say, hey, by the way, how much is the benefit on my record? And if they say, oh, it's $1,000 less, and you're like, okay, bye, and then you're doing the right thing, which is probably the case based on what you have there. All right, let's see. You keep coming up with nothing. What do not know for a fact what Trump is going to do with Social Security. That's why we need to watch. That's why we need to reach out to politicians. This is still kind of a participatory democracy. And if we, just sit around on our hands and wait for our good, our dear leaders to make the decisions for us, then that's not the kind of country I want to be in. I want us to reach out to the politicians and say, okay, you can think about this, but don't think about that. So, yeah. Retirement is not what you thought it would be after working your entire life. Trust me, I regret retiring. Yeah, I regretted it after 1 week, and that's why I'm here doing these crazy videos. So, anyway, hey, Jeffrey, long time no see. What happens if you lose dual eligibility? Yeah. Then dual eligibility, so that means you lost Medicaid, and that's going to be a big thing going forward. I just did a video on that about a week or so ago. That if the budget is cut and there's going to be a lot of people losing Medicaid, and therefore, if Medicaid was paying your $185 Part B premium, you're going to have to pay the $185. And if you were receiving a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan that was gave you $100 or $200 grocery card every month, you're going to lose that. But if you lose dual eligibility, then you have to find a regular plan as well, a regular Medicare Advantage plan, or you can go to a Medicare supplement plan at that time. So yeah, reach out to Chapter and they can see if there's anything else out there. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to lose Medicaid. Yeah. Spoke to Social Security rep this morning, told him about your channel. Ed, very helpful rep. Oh, awesome. There we go. Yeah. And please, and in the box down below in the live, please put what office that was. We always like to shout out to the Social Security offices that are, going above and beyond even when they don't have resources. So yeah, we need to support Social Security. So I can go back into retirement. What steps do I need to take to claim early retirement at 62 and a half? Yeah, you can file online. Number one thing is to check your earnings record. Go into Social Security, check your earnings record, make sure everything is correct because that's how they're going to determine how much you're going to make for the rest of your life. Were you married to anybody for 10 years or longer? Or married to anybody that passed away? Are you currently married? Are you starting retirement because you're disabled and you're not able to work anymore? That's why you're starting like early retirement, or are you just tired of working? So those are the type of questions you need to ask. But if all of those are basically no, you're all good, then yeah, you can just go online, file the retirement claim online. If if you're born in the United States and everything is correct on your Social Security record, your date of birth and name and all that kind of stuff, you don't even need a birth certificate anymore. They changed that policy a few years ago. Got any children under the age of 18, any disabled under the 22, then yeah, you can just file online. Or you can call Social Security and set up an appointment. Yep. Let's see. Amy, people that have to pay back Social Security for overpayment, will there be a forgiveness for that, or do they have to keep paying it even when it's not their fault? Yeah, two things have to be met to get your Social Security overpayment waived. It's not your fault, and you don't have the ability to repay. So, if Social Security gives $1,000 to some millionaire by accident, then that person has to return it. It wasn't their fault, but they have the ability to repay. So no, if you've already gone through the procedure and the request for waiver of the overpayment, the SSA 632, and they determined that you didn't fulfill those two, it wasn't your fault, and you do have the ability to repay, then yeah, you'll have to repay it. But thanks to Anderson Cooper's excellent expose on overpayments in 60 Minutes last year, it's a lot easier. The overpayment process is a lot easier. And you can do a payment plan up to 60 months and it's zero interest. So, why wouldn't you do it as long as possible, right? I'm on disability. Am I going to get the dollar amount I have earned when I was working? I worked for 35 years. I will be 65 on October. Yeah, if you're on disability, your disability is going to continue as long as you're disabled. The only thing that changes is once you hit your full retirement age, your disability benefits are automatically switched from disability to just regular retirement benefits. Your check stays the same and Medicare stays the same and all that kind of stuff. The only other thing is that you no longer have to do those CDRs, the continuing disability reviews, and you're no longer limited in terms of work because you're receiving retirement after your full retirement age. So let's see here. Sergio, will I receive a retroactive check if I want my benefit to begin 5 months previous to me filing the paperwork? If I want my yes, if you okay, let me if I want my benefits to begin 5 months previous to me filing the paperwork. No, unless you called 5 months ago. It's called a protective filing. If you're after your full retirement age, Social Security can give you 6 months of retroactive back payments. But if you're filing early, if you just contacted them, this month in January, and you want your benefits to start this month, then your benefits will start this month. You can't say, well, you start 5 months ago, unless you called them 5 months ago, and it took you 5 months to get an appointment or whatever the case may be. So. Jeffrey, my mom is on Social Security, and with the current administration threatening to cut Social Security, she's worried about that. Is there a chance that Congress will cut Social Security? It really depends on us. That if we hold their feet to the fire and make sure they don't. But President Trump has already said he's not going to cut. He's not going to raise the retirement age. But that leaves a lot. That there's cuts happening. There's cuts happening right now because there's no customer service. There's no Social Security employees to help you get your benefits. And I don't have 70 million subscribers. So people aren't getting this information. So there's a lot of people out there that are not getting the right benefits. Social Security, unfortunately, doesn't have the resources to help. So people are getting benefits cut right now. And Congress, yes, they do have some ideas, some rather sneaky ideas to kind of do an in run around some of this. But let's, as we say in the Marine Corps, let's keep our heads on a swivel, right? I have been receiving Social Security benefits since the age of 70. I worked up until I was 75 and then had a stroke. Can I apply for Social Security disability along with keeping my Social Security? No, unfortunately not. After you reach your retirement age, as I just was talking about this other person, your benefits are automatically switched to retirement benefits. Nobody in the country is receiving disability benefits after their full retirement age. When you hit your full retirement age, your disability benefits are switched to retirement benefits. So unfortunately, there's no more benefits for you for disability. Tom, I filed for Social Security, still working and past full retirement age, but now make less. Will the new income be continually factored in my 35 years average and lower my current amount? No. Yes and no. Well, yes, it will be factored in there, but it will never reduce your benefit amount. So how it happens if you're 65, 75, 85, 95, if you continue to work and pay into Social Security, FICA and everything, then once you do your taxes, IRS notifies Social Security looks at it and it says, is this one of Tom's high 35 years of earnings? If it is, they kick out the low one, put in the new one, recalculate, and your benefits increase. If it's not, they just chuck it and it'll never reduce your benefits. So Dr. Ed, there is a Social Security rep who is going to start watching your channel. Told him how you educate him. Yes, there's a lot of Social Security employees that watch my channel. So they reach out to me and stuff, say and kind of give me inside scoop. Hey, a lot of people are making mistakes on this, and a lot of people are asking this type of question. So that kind of helps. I get a kind of a feedback loop. Bottom line, none of these online commentators really know what is going to happen. Makes for a lot of clicks. Yep, nobody knows what's going to happen. So we just sit around passively on our hands and let our corporate overlords make their decisions for us. Yeah, that's not my country. Love and light. Once you turn 65, you are no longer disabled according to Social Security. You're just receiving Social Security. Actually, it's your full retirement age. If your full retirement age is 65, then yes. Thank you for sharing. God bless you. Thank you. Betsy will testify. Does the widow receive a small amount more a month by giving the specialist her husband's DD 214? Possibly. If Social Security gives a little benefit, usually it's kind of automatic nowadays. There's an interaction between the VA and DD 214 and everything. Um, but yeah, the Social Security gives some extra earnings when that person was on active duty. So, but there is probably 98% chance those that military time was already included in your husband's benefit amount, but it doesn't hurt to check. Oh, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. All right, got my coffee money for the day. You're awesome. If you collect at 70 and still work, will your social still go up? Yeah, again, if it's your one of your high 35 years. Yep. Give Trump a chance. All he has done is threaten Social Security. Yeah, we got to be positive. So, yeah. So, but he said he's not going to cut social, he's not going to cut benefits, so that's off the table. And there were a bunch of people in his political party, politicians, that had cutting benefits, getting rid of spouse benefits, or excuse me, means testing spouse benefits. That means, what does means test mean? Well, if you're receiving survivor benefits or spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, and you have X amount of other income, you don't get those benefits. So that was a proposal by the Speaker of the House, and raising the retirement age. They attempted to raise the retirement age a couple of weeks ago in the middle of the night, basically during the Social Security Fairness Act, but only 3 senators voted for it. So I think you got to give Trump, you know, credit, because no other people in his political party voted to raise the retirement age, and they could have at that time. It's kind of a very, very sneaky way to do it, but the reason nobody else joined on, they wanted to do it, but Trump said he wouldn't. So I guess you got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. Sandy, thank you. Chapter is phenomenal. Awesome. Honest and doing what's best for the client. Went out the contract insurers and found the best plan for me. Awesome. Good. Thank you for sharing that information. Yeah. I help people with all things Social Security, retirement, disability, Medicare Part A and B, but people wanted help with all the rest of it. So I looked for a place that would help you out, and they were doing a phenomenal job. We have to care about each other. We need to stand. Okay, good. Yes, that's, yeah, the united we stand, right? Social Security was never set up to be a retirement fund. It was insurance for the elderly. Eh, yeah, well, it's called RSI, Retirement Survivors Insurance, and the FICA, Federal Insurance Corporations Act. Yeah, it's an insurance type of policy. Yes, absolutely. But it's, for all intents and purposes, a retirement plan, insurance for retirement. So kind of, I guess, an annuity is a retirement insurance plan, right? So. All right. Wow, we're over an hour, and unfortunately I've run out of time. I've got bunch of questions. Oh, thank you, Charles. Wow. Okay. I've definitely got my coffee IV. Hello, sir. Hope all is well. Disabled vet. Thank you for service, and awarded SSDI October 2023, backdated to February 2022. Paperwork says I have a CDR April 2025, which is getting close. How likely will this happen in April? It My philosophy on CDRs, the continuing disability reviews, is forget about it, complete it, and forget about it. It's a budget issue. If your local Social Security office has the budget to process that CDR, they'll do it. If they don't, even if you're due in April, they just won't do it because they don't have the money. So see you next time. So that's an issue that is out of your control. So if you're under your control is taking care of yourself and, going to the doctor and worrying about all those other stuff, don't worry about stuff that's out of your control. When you go out to the mailbox and you see the fun little package from Social Security with the disability, questions, the paperwork, fill it out, return it, and then forget about it again. So, all right, go on with your life. Don't let Social Security stress you out like that. All right, thank you very much. Y'all have an awesome night, and we'll be back again. I think I'm going to take off tomorrow, but I'll be back again the next day, and we'll talk about whatever we talk about. We'll see.